Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is directed once again by Michael Bay, and this movie stars pretty much everybody from the last movie. And basically, when Sam looks at a sliver of the cube that got somehow caught on his shirt, he gets all these symbols and stuff in his mind that lead to an energon source that could maybe save the Transformers or help them, but that energy source takes power from the sun, so it destroyed the entire human race. So basically the Decepticons are looking for Sam, and Sam's on the run, and the Autobots are trying to protect Sam, and there's also some other kind of plot lines going around in here with like the old primes, and then the Fallen arrives in here, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. There's not exactly one center plot line, except for maybe the one that I just explained, but there is still so many plot lines in this movie, and this movie might be my least favorite out of the entire Transformers series. So, my general opinion on this movie is that when I was a kid, this movie was awesome. It was like one of my favorite movies of all time. This was actually the very first Transformers movie I've ever seen. My brother or my dad, one of the two, got this on a DVD, and I watched Transformers 2 for the first time, and then I actually watched Transformers 1. So, I mean, this one, it turned me on to Transformers quite a bit, because, I mean, it was the very first one I ever watched. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, and I have a lot of nostalgic for this movie, but there is a lot of things wrong with this movie, and it takes such a step down from the first one, and it's very disappointing. It's not all its fault, because there was a writer's strike happening during the filming of this movie, so I mean, you can't completely blame it, because maybe if it didn't happen, they had more time to write this movie and shoot it and everything, then it would be a better film, but what we got was not very good. But there is some still very good parts about this movie that I will get into, but as for negatives, all the plot lines I do not like. It's like plot line, plot line, plot line, plot line, you have to do this, we have to worry about this, we have to worry about this, we have to worry about this. And there's just way too many to worry about, and there's way too many that have to be unraveled. Therefore, the runtime feels longer and longer and longer, and you just really want to see some cool action sequences when you walk into this movie. And speaking of those action sequences, while they are there and they are present, there's actually not too many of them towards the middle section of this movie. There is one good action sequence in that middle section that I will get into, don't worry. But there's not a whole lot, and that's another thing. Like, the pacing of this movie feels actually longer than 2.5 hours, which, again, it does not need to be. This movie does not need to be 2.5 hours. It's way too long. They could have cut out so many of this movie. As for humor, the jokes don't really land in this movie. I'd say 25%, maybe 20% of the jokes land in this movie. There is one really funny joke in the third act between Epps and Lennox that I laughed out loud. I thought that was very funny because I like their camaraderie between one another, and that's this joke.
I hope these F-16s got good aim.
Yo, what is that?
I told them to hit the orange smoke.
You mean that orange smoke?
It wasn't my best talks, okay?
Viper Thunder.
I actually thought that was a pretty funny joke. It just seems natural between the two, and that's another thing. They also, I feel like, wasted they could have had a very good bromance, and their one kind of joke, or like whenever they're having a conversation, I was actually interested. So I really wish they would have tapped onto more of their relationship, but they didn't really do that. Sam, he's a pretty good character. I really liked him in the first movie, and Shia LaBeouf does well here. He has some of that quirkiness that he had in the first one, but that's kind of lost. Sam's parents suck. I hated Sam's parents. His mom is so annoying. His dad's fine, but his mom sucks. She's so annoying. She, oh my god. She has like this pot brownie and in the college section of this movie, and it was just like, why does this need to be in this movie? Just like cut it out completely. Just like, you don't need it. Like, you can have them in the movie, but just like don't give them their own plot line. We don't need to see them going to Paris and doing all that weird stuff. And I'm like what why do we need to see this? Like, honestly, Megan Fox is better in this movie than she was in the first one. I'll give her that. She still looks very beautiful in this movie, and she is very good. So, I mean, that's fine, I guess. There's way too many humping jokes. There's like 3 in this movie. 2 of them are dogs, and one of them is Wheelie at the end when he humps Megan Fox's leg, which, I mean, that's very unnecessary. And the final action sequence with the Fallen and Optimus is kind of cut short, and I didn't really enjoy that. And the fact that Optimus is not in this movie for that long because he dies and then he comes back to life, and like, it's kind of a wasted opportunity for me. And also, when Sam dies and goes to Transformers Heaven, I don't know why he did that. And then they're like, "This was always your destiny." I'm like, I mean, that's kind of shoehorned in, and he's a normal teenager, and I don't buy it. That's all. Like, if they would have done better with that aspect, maybe I would have bought it, but I didn't buy it at all. So yeah, all the humor is kind of cheesy, and like, I didn't really laugh a lot at it at all, really. There's a couple jokes that hit, that one towards the end, and there's way too many plot lines in this movie, but there is some very good stuff about it, and that's what I'm going to get into right now. Biggest positive out of this movie is the forest battle. Forest battle is probably top 5 favorite Transformers, top 3 actually, favorite Transformers action sequences. I mean, this is one of my favorite action sequences of all time. This forest battle is so entertaining. It's so fun. It's one of the best action sequences, I think, put to cinema. The way they were able to do this with such great CGI and everything, I thought that was outstanding. So forest battle, great. I loved it. The third act in this movie, not bad, not bad. It has some very good, cool parts to it. There's so many explosions and everything. I like the score in this movie still. I think Steve Jablonsky does a pretty good job with the score. The Fallen as a villain, I thought was also pretty cool. I feel like he's kind of an okay villain. I mean, he has somewhat of a backstory, but maybe they could have worked on him a bit more, but he was alright for the most part. Megatron's okay, Starscream's fine. Like, all the Transformers in this movie are fine. Skit and Mudflap are kind of annoying, but then also kind of funny at the same time. It's kind of a mix for me, but they're just kind of like these racial stereotypes, also known as the racist twins. So, I mean, there's that in this movie, but I didn't mind them too much. And there is some very good action throughout this film, because, I mean, that's what you go in this movie to see, is the action. So, I mean, the third act has some good action, and there is some good action towards the middle and the start. And this movie is just a nice blockbuster that you can sit and watch and have fun watching. Because that's what this movie was kind of made for. It was just a blockbuster to have fun, stuff some popcorn in your face, and watch it. And I feel like it does its job with that, but there's still way too many issues that I have with this movie for me to fully enjoy it. And I think it's probably my least favorite out of all the Transformers movies, because even though there is so many problems with the later movies, like 4 and 5, I enjoy those more because I feel like they just have some energy, and there's something about this movie that I just don't really care for that much. So with all that said, I'm going to give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen a C. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Stay tuned for more reviews coming very soon. I'm looking at the Emoji Movie and then Transformers Dark of the Moon. I also am going to be looking at SpongeBob, Sponge Out of the Water, The New Mutants, Tenet when it comes out. So tons of reviews coming out very soon. You guys are the best if you watch this video. Comment down below, what did you think of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? Did you enjoy it more than the first one? Or are you kind of like me and it's a big letdown from the first one? All that fun stuff down below in the comment section. Hit that like and subscribe button if you like my content. And have a great day. Bye.